90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Okay, 100, guys. Then we're going to cut this. We're going to cut, and then we're going to hold it in the center right here. And we're going to take a piece of string, and we're going to tie that off into a knot. All right. And then we're just going to go to the opposite side. And you can take it off your container at this point and cut. And that basically is your spawning mop. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get this wet, take it inside. We're going to put it into a 10-gallon aquarium of Julies who have been breeding, who are of breeding age, but they're laying their eggs on the plants. So we're going to take this into a corner of the aquarium where there's not as many plants, tie it up, and we'll see what success we have if we can convert them from aquarium plants to a spawning mop. The idea of the spawning mop is they lay their eggs into the spawning mop, then you can remove it, put it into a dish, you can remove the eggs individually, or you can just put the whole spawning mop into a bowl and let the eggs hatch. So we're going to try this and try to see if we can't get more success with our Corys. So let's go inside and check out the 10-gallon aquarium and the Julies, and let's see what we can accomplish. Okay, we're back in the fish room, and these are the subjects, the Julii Corys, who are adult size, and it looks like they're actually trying to lay eggs as we speak right now. You can see the erratic behavior. They go up and down the glass and the sides of the aquarium. These particular fish are laying their eggs on individual leaves, but you would think you could find it, but you can't. It's hard to find the eggs, and if you do, they go and they eat the eggs as soon as they lay them. So we're going to put a breeding mop into this tank. There's one of them. And we're going to see if we can entice them to lay her eggs on a breeding mop instead of these delicious plants. Where we're going to put it is right back in this corner of the tank. And let's install the mop and we'll see what happens. Of course, the tank's not going to look this good. I don't like artificial things in the tank, but let's see. We're trying to get some Julies, so let's see what we can do here. We'll be right back as soon as we install the mop. Well, we've installed our mop, and I've changed my mind on the location because the back corner was a dead corner as far as circulation of the water. We decided to put it in the front corner because Corys also like a strong circulation of water, so we put this on the outlet of the outside filter. So now the outside filter stream of water is hitting the mop, and I think this will be an ideal location. So we're going to give these beautiful Julies an opportunity to breed and lay some eggs, and if we have success, if we can see them laying, we'll try to film that, and if not, if we get some night action, we'll come back and we'll film the results. But these Julies are about 2 years old, so it takes a while to raise the fish and to condition them. Now what we've done, we've fed them frozen bloodworms. That is the main conditioner. Then you hit them with a cube of Tubiflex freeze-dried worms on an alternate day. You hit them with plenty of tablet food that hits the bottom, and you condition them. Then you take the temperature of the water down a few degrees. Do a few water changes every day in a row. Take 25, 35, 40% of the water. reduce the temperature down 3 to 5 degrees, and that will stimulate them. Do this on a day that it's a rainy day or a cold front's moving in, and then that will stimulate. If you have the age of the fish, you have the fish conditioned, you have frequent water changes right before you want them to breed, and a low barometric day, a low pressure day, don't be surprised to see your Corys laying eggs. So we're attempting, we're getting breeding, but we're not getting. I can't collect the eggs. I can't. They only do 1 or 2 eggs at a time underneath the leaf in the back, and you just can't see it. You can't find them. So we're going to try the Breeding Mop method, and we'll let you know, guys. Thanks. Okay, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and do a water change because the Julies, it's said the same day we put the Breeding Mop in, they're looking very active. And I think we're going to do some enticements today. We're going to go ahead and do a water change on this. And it's kind of a cool day. It's a low pressure day. And let's see if we can just go ahead and do some stimulation. We'll go ahead and we'll do a water change. And I'll feed them some worms, and we'll just show you a whole process. And look, here, look at this. We just put the mop in literally a few minutes ago, and they're already in the middle of it. I mean, I don't see any of the females with eggs. There's a female right there in the center screen. There's a female. That's a female right there. Right there. That's a big one. We got a good little group. Now these have multiplied by themselves. Like I said, they are about 2 years ago old, and we started off with 4. So I think we have about 6 or 8 now. So some of them did breed out and hatch, but you don't get many that way. But let's take some of the water out. Okay, we put a siphon in, and we're going to siphon the aquarium down. I think we're going to take it down 30%. You can see these Julies in our tank planted pretty much exclusively with the lilies, both the adult lilies and the star lilies. The Taiwan lily. And we have our sunset guppy tank. The way we change our waters on the inside guppy room, we have a 5-gallon cat sand bucket with a sump pump in it. We pump it outside through the window. We have a window cracked open outside. We have an outlet into our waistline, so it goes. This water also goes outside to water the plants. Okay, it looks like the siphon's pretty much done. Talking to you, I went actually a little over, but we'll take that out and call that the third, and then we'll fill it up with water. Okay, we'll be right back, and we'll start the water fill. Okay, we're going to add some water. Now the way our water works is we have a cold water line hooked up to our laundry room, which of course is hooked up to our whole house water system. But our house water system has 3 filters. It has 2 carbon filters and a sediment filter system. So we don't have to worry about the water being, filled with chlorine. It's already been dechlorinated. And then we have a valve right here that I can hook it up. So we just hook it up, turn it on. I like to have it turned on fairly strong. The catfish actually do like to come into the stream, swim. They really like that colder water. Right now we're putting the water temperature of the tank is about 75 degrees, and the water we're putting in is about 72. I'm not sure it's showing up on film, but already they're into the water stream and being stimulated with that fresh water. Alright, this is day 2 of our experiment with our mops, our breeding mops for our Corys. What we've done in the meantime, we've put a cube of Two of Cory worms at the very bottom of the tank right here, and got them used to the mop. In our baby brine shrimp feeding, we injected the baby brine shrimp right on the mops so that the shrimp would get stuck in, and the catfish could go in there and sweep up and clean up and get used to the mop, and it's worked. They have actually been in the mop with no problem, no fear. We went ahead and used the rest of the yarn, and it made additional 4 more mops. So we decided to try the same experiment in all of our tanks where we had breeding catfish. We went over to the tank here, and these had the adult bronze catfish who have laid eggs in the previous years and have done a great job for us. So we put a mop in there. You can see these are planted tanks, but we're trying to get additional with the mops. Additionally, we've put a mop into our 20-gallon rimless, in which we have our Serbai. The Serbai have also been frustrating for us as they have laid eggs, normally on these leaves right through here, but you only get 1 or 2, and we see them and they go back and they eat the eggs as soon as they lay them, and it's a fight. In this tank we do have some bronzes and a couple of these. I'm not sure what these are, but I'm looking for the Serbais to come out, and we'll show you the adult Serbais because they're really nice. We've had these for approximately 3 years. And of course, now that I'm filming, they're hiding. There's one in the back there. There they are. As you can see, they're already in the mop, no fear. So we're going to do the water changes on these tanks, and of course, we've already been conditioning these fish quite extensively. There we go. Quite extensively. So, and about every 3 days, they are breeding. And we've just ignored it because it's been too hard to collect the eggs. So we're going to take this experiment to the 20-gallon and the Serbais. And you can see it's a well-planted tank, and they're very comfortable, but we're going to put it right in this corner because this is where they have laid their eggs before. And we've got some water flow right here, and we're going to give this a shot, and we'll let you know what the success of this is. Again, we're going to reduce the water, put fresh water in every day, feed them brine shrimp, and do the same thing on every tank and see what happens. Okay, let's go see what else we've done. Okay, we went over to the 10-gallon tank, and here we have the salt and pepper. And these are almost 3-year-old and have given us quite a few babies before. But we did find an empty spot in front of the filter, the hang-on filter outflow. So we're throwing water directly over the mop, and let me see if we can find the fish. There they are. They're hiding. There. So this is we have about 6 pair in here, all the same age, and they should be good to go. There they are. About 3 days ago, they did lay some eggs on the plants, and they ate them before we got to them. The other places we put the rest of our mops, we went to 2 tubs outside, and we put the mops in the tubs outside with the albino Corys. And we have some very mature albino Corys. And we thought, well, let's give the outside a shot too. So we'll give you an update on that, how that goes. And we'll see which one breeds first, or if we have any success at all. There's one of the nice Serbais. I think that is one of the females right there. We only have 3 Serbais. I believe we have 2 females and 1 male, which is not ideal, but that's, you have what you have to work with. And these fish are approximately 3 years old, so they're definitely breeding age and a proven breeders. So this is one of the goals, is to definitely increase our Serbai collection. And we'll go to the final tank on the inside. We're taking the water down on this tank right now, and you can see there's the mop. And on this tank we've got our salt and peppers. We've bred these quite a long time, and these are proven pairs. We have about 6 in this tank of adults. Again, they're about 2 years, 2.5, 3 years old. Just approximately a week ago, they were all laying eggs on the lily leaves, but we just weren't able to keep them and breed them. So we put the mop in this tank. So now we're trying the Juliis, the bronzes, the Serbai, and the salt and pepper. We did put 2 mops on the outside on the albino Corys, and we're going to try those because those are also 2 to 3 years old. So welcome to day 2. We're taking the water down on all the tanks, and we're introducing the mops to the Corys, and we're going to see which breed and which type will hit the mops, or if any of them do. Alright, day 2. Here you can see we've put the Tupelophex worms on the glass at the base of the mop to encourage you. See how they're going in and out of the mop, showing them there's no fear, that this is a good place to be. They'll eat on these worms for probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes, which will put them very comfortable with the mop. As you can see, they're already going through, exploring it. No fear. Corys are a fearful little fish, and sometimes you have to, this is the way we're introducing them to a strange environment, strange things in the tank. We've used a yarn of multicolors. You can see it's a shaded yarn, so it does resemble a plant. It's got dark greens to light green mixed and weaved in the plant, so it's a very natural looking mop. As you can see, if you want to condition your Corys, feed them Tupelophex worms freeze dried. They just love those, as well as the bloodworms. Okay guys, this is day 3 and we have news. The Juliis are laying eggs. Now, whether they're laying eggs in the mop is yet to be seen, but we turned on the camera and we wanted to show you some of the action of their erratic behavior and the way they go if they're going to lay their eggs. So we do have a female. See the male? There's the male right there. And that would be the we'll identify him because I've got you on live film here, so I haven't identified everything. But this is typical breeding behavior. And I looked and saw one of the females, and she had a couple eggs clamped into her anal fins. So we know one thing of our experiment: lowering the temperature of the water 2 days in a row accomplished a trigger and got them laying eggs. Now let's see what happens with the mop. Okay guys, we've got breeding action with the Julies. There you see a male right there. See his breeding action. There's the female that's laying the eggs. He's courting her right by the mop, which is what we want to see. And this is day 3. So let's review. Day 1, we made the mop. We put it in the tank. We did a 25 to 30% water change of cold water, reducing the temperature down 2 or 3 degrees. We fed them frozen bloodworms. And Triple Effects freeze-dried worms. Day 2, we did another water change. We put a cube of Triple Effects worms on the bottom right by the mop. We did not feed bloodworms day 2, just freeze-dried Triple Effects. This is the morning of day 3. They're laying eggs. Now, we don't know if the mop is successful or not. We're going to do some video and see what we have, and we're going to go from there. But this is the breeding pair right there. There's the female, there's the male. See how he's smaller? And we'll get trying again as the day goes on. We're going to try to get you some video, and we're going to see if they lay eggs in the mop. And I'll show you her laying eggs, and we'll go through that process. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, the big female in the back there has a couple of eggs in her clutch, and you can see it takes sometimes forever for them to decide where they're going to lay them. But she's not going to the mop. It's that one right there. That one right there. If you can see her anal fins are clutched, and she's holding probably a pair of eggs. It looks like she's going for the glass, the plants. You just don't know where they're going to hit. And she's staying to the back of the tank. So this is why have been so unsuccessful in gathering the eggs up. Okay, let's get another shot. If she goes in the mop, we'll try to get some shots of that. And I'm going to put the camera down and see if I can't find out where she's trying to lay them, because they usually go back to the same spot over and over, and then they'll pick a different spot. So let me see if I can focus and see where she's trying to lay them, and then I can set up the camera and film that a little bit better. Okay, there's the female. You see her fins? Wow, this is so... There, see her? Here's your typical behavior. There's your female, the larger one there. You've got one male chasing her, and actually there's 2. Usually you'll have 2 males chasing the females, and that's typically what you want to do. But see how fat the female is? So there's our female right there and the male. They're edging closer to the mop. At least they've come out from the back. She's been laying eggs, but it's in the back, and I have no idea where they're at. They've probably eaten as soon as she lays them. I've zoomed in, and there's an egg on the mop right there. Look at that. See it? See the egg? So I think we're going to go down and we're going to grab that and put it in a breeding tank. But there you go. There you go, guys. Okay, guys, I reached in the mop and I pulled out, I found 2 eggs, one that I showed on the camera and another one I found along the way, and I put them into a fry breeding tank and just stuck them on the side here. And you see there's a snail will not eat the eggs. There's a guppy that's trying to eat the egg. That's not a good thing, but I don't think they're hard. Now, adult guppies will be able to eat them, but the fry, I don't think will have an issue there. But this is how I hatch them. I just put them on the side or on plants or float them, or they hit the bottom of the fry tanks and let them hatch right with the guppy fry. But anyway, I'm going to try to get a close-up here so you can see. There you go. So, oh, there you go. That's why that's not a good idea. There's a egg just got eaten by a guppy. Well, we won't be putting any more eggs in this fry tank. How about that? Okay, let's take this remaining egg out, put it into a smaller fry tank. Wow. He didn't eat it. It fell to the bottom. There's actually 2 eggs on the bottom there. So I think we will take those out though. And put them into a, since Julii eggs are valuable to us right now, I think we'll take these out and put them into their own fry tank. Okay guys, what we have here, upon further investigation, we've got 2 of our females laying eggs today, and I erroneously reported we had 8 in here. Actually what we have is 3 large females and 6 males, so we got 3 males per female. 9, yeah, 3, 6. Actually we got 2 males per female. Anyway, we got 9 total, and both females are currently laying eggs, and we're pulling eggs out of the mop. Okay guys, what we have here is more of the females laying eggs. What we've discovered is we actually have 9 Julies in this tank. We have 3 females, and currently confirmed 2 are laying eggs at the same time. And we have 6 males, which is just perfectly ideal. You can see the reaction here, and they're just hitting this mop. This has just become, what a tool. I mean, look at, there's one. See, she's laying it right now. See, there's an egg just hit the bottom. So I have been a little bit of intrusive, and I have been reaching in there and grabbing a few of the eggs, and I grabbed 6 out of them already, which is a higher yield than I've gotten out of this tank ever been able to pull, because even today I've watched them try to lay eggs on the leaves, and I've tried to pull them, and I haven't grabbed one single egg off a leaf. But I have been able to grab them very easily off the Breeding Mop. So I would definitely recommend the Breeding Mop, guys. And let's continue. Let's see what happens. But you can see the breeding frenzy. Okay, guys, our Julies are going trip after trip after trip to the Breeding Mop and laying their eggs. They're checking at every leaf on the bottom and deciding that's not the best idea, that's not the best place, that's not the best place, and they're hitting the mop. And one of them's laying like at this level. The other female, she's going way up in the dense area, and she's laying them up in here. And the males are not following them, and they're not going back and eating them. So I've pulled a dozen. Pulled a dozen out, and you can see they're sticking. They've even stuck to some of the fibers of the mop. But I'm not gonna go in and pull any more out of the mop. We're gonna wait till they're through breeding. But let's recap what we have here. 3 days ago, we built the mop with 100 strands, cut it in half, and tied it and clamped it to the tank. We did a water change of 35% water, fresh water, 2 days in a row. We fed frozen bloodworms on day 1. Plus later on day 1 we fed freeze-dried Tubulifex worms. Each day we fed the baby brine shrimp, and we let it float down the mop. So we got the fish accustomed to that mop. We put it into a dark corner. We put it opposite the flow of the canister filter. And 3 days later, in the morning, we came out, and 2 of our females, which we have 9 Julies, we have 6 males, we have 3 females,
2 of the females are laying eggs as we're currently talking. They're looking at the plants, and they're bypassing the plants, and they're going directly for the artificial mop. We're pulling eggs out of the mop, so we have received 100% success on this experiment. At the end of the breeding time, we will go. I think we're going to pull the eggs out of the mop, what we can find, and then we're going to put the mop itself in water and let anything that we didn't find hatch out. But I'm very happy, very happy. This is the first time we've tried breeding our Corys. One thing I did want to mention, we did wait for low barometric pressure. So it is a cooler day today. The barometric pressure is lower. And we triggered them. And they've responded, and they love the mop, and you can see what the reaction is. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, as incredible as it sounds, we're still on the 3rd day, and the Serbai Corys are also laying eggs. As you can see right now, they're looking for a leaf. We attempted the same techniques on the same time on this tank. We installed 3 days ago a breeding mop. We replaced 35% of the water. We fed them frozen bloodworms. Next couple of days, we've put, here's the breeding mop on this tank right here, guys. This is a 20-gallon rimless. And we put, because of this corner is where they were laying some eggs, we put the breeding mop right here. Anyway, let's see if we can find them again. Oh, there they are. And we fed them frozen bloodworms, freeze-dried tubuliflex. There she's laying her. See, she's laying her eggs right there on the leaf. And she went back and ate them. But anyway, on the 3rd day, this is now it's like noon, and we were filming the Julies, and I went over here and looked at this tank, and sure enough, they're laying their eggs too. So the triggers work, guys. If you want to get your Corys to breed, check your weather forecast. Look for a rainy day or a low pressure day. Before that day, try to get it like 3, 4, 5 days, even a week in advance. Start doing daily water changes of about 25 to 35%. Put in cooler water. So try to cool the tank down between 3 to 5 degrees. Don't get too radical. Do that day after day. Feed them what there's the T position right there. And she's got eggs. And it just triggers them. Now let's hope that they do find the breeding mop. I haven't checked that yet because literally I saw that these guys were breeding, and I turned the camera on to show you the success of our experiment. The other tank on the Julies, we've pulled over 20 eggs already from the mop, and I need to leave it alone. That's why I've walked away, because I don't really want to be intrusive. I want to see what we can get just directly with the mop. And I hope these guys will get out of the plants and go to the mop themselves, because it would really be nice to hatch out a bunch of Serbais, because they've been very difficult to find available for sale. We had a group of these, and this tank, they were in the tank, they were outside, they crashed, and we lost a lot of our nice Corys. We had a group of 12 of these, and we only have 2 of those left, and I don't think they're male female. I'm not sure. I think these are Swarts. I'm not sure, or I'm not sure what the Corys of those are. But anyway, we just wanted to show you more of our success. Okay, guys, here's the results of our mop test on the Julii Corys. We pulled 65 eggs,
And you can see the little hairs. That's not fungus. That's just the little hairs off the mop. That'll be fine. We've got a snail in there. We did find a few eggs on a piece of algae, so we just grabbed the algae. We found one on a piece of leaf, and we just grabbed the leaf. And the same thing up there, we found one on a leaf. So we found 4 or 5 in the tank, which if we saw them spawning, that's what we would get, 4 or 5 eggs. But with the mop, we got 65 eggs. So out of that, we're hoping to get a few dozen Julies. But we're going to keep you informed on that, and we'll see what we can hatch out and grow out. But very happy with the mop test. And the other tanks, the Serbais did not lay any eggs in the mop, and we were able to recover 1 egg. So poor results there, but we're going to continue trying on that. And the other mops, the Corys haven't spawned yet, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, with the Julies is why we initiated the test, and the mops was a tremendous success. So try it out. If you can get your Corys up to adult size, try the water changes, the conditioning, and try a mop. Okay, this is day 2 of our Cory eggs in our hatching box. What we've done on the hatching box is we've taken just one of our breeding box that has a water flow system from the tank. So we're running that at full speed. You can hear it, and that's circulating the water, the aquarium water, through the tank. Yes, it has debris. There are some eggs on the bottom, but it doesn't hurt the eggs. See, there's some eggs. They're still very viable. The strings you see here are just strings, acrylic strings from the mop. And I kind of like the way some of the eggs are just floating, so they're getting a nice aeration. So I don't see any fungus on any of the eggs, so they all look good. So we'll see what hatches. Now, you did notice on the breeding box we plugged up the exit gate with pearlweed. The reason for that is we have made that mistake in the past. All the little fry hatch, and then with the water flow, they go right out the gate into the aquarium, and you lose them all. So probably around tomorrow we'll slow down the flow, so it's not so turbulent. It's not flowing through so fast, because the fry will go through the gate and you lose them. So anyway, here's day 2 update. Well, this is day 5, and you see we do have a hatchling of our Corys. It's very hard to focus, but they're called wigglers. We have 1 hatch so far. We still have most of the eggs have not hatched. They're not fungused, they just haven't hatched, and they're still in the class. But we do have 1 hatchling. He's zoomed in here, and you can see them. They just wiggle all over when you got a whole tray of them. There he is. See him going? Anyway, so we have 1 hatchling. Now, further results. Back up of the tank, we have another spawning today. So the Julies are spawning again today, and I've pulled an additional 7 eggs. So 5 days later, we've continued to feed them, and on their own, they went and spawned. Now we've done the other Corys, and they are not spawning. The Serbais are not spawning. The bronzes are not spawning. The salt and pepper are not spawning. But the Julies are. And you can see them right there, they're hitting leaves. She's going crazy. So this is good news. I mean, when you're trying to get Cory eggs, we're getting them. We end up with, like I said, we end up with 60 the first spawn. And so far we have 7. And hopefully she'll go back to the mop. And we'll get more. So as we'll probably do an update tomorrow and show you more of the what we get from the spawn today and what hatch out by tomorrow. Most of the eggs in the Corys will hatch out by tomorrow, but it has been 5 days and they are beginning to hatch. So we'll provide an update for you. Okay, this is day 6, and you can see all the wigglers. They've all hatched. We don't have a single bad egg that we can see. I have fed them some baby brine shrimp. They really don't need to be fed. They still have an egg yolk on the first day or 2. But I went and threw a small amount of baby brine shrimp in there for the fast ones. And it appears all 60, 65 have hatched. And we're going to have some Julii catfish. But you can see they're active little guys. And you can see we shut down the water. There's just a small drip to get them fresh water, but it won't let them, and then we've plugged up the overflow. But the breeder boxes make excellent hatcheries for these baby, newly hatched catfish fry, Julii catfish. But later we'll put some guppies in here. We'll put some guppy fry in here because they really do make a good combination in the same breeder box. But I am so excited that I now have 60 baby Juliis. Let's see if we can grow them up. We're going to feed them daily baby brine shrimp, and we're going to feed them some powder foods because catfish particularly like powder foods. One of the things we do feed baby catfish, we feed them the dust off the Tupelflex worms, you know, the dust at the end of the box. And we also have the Sierra tabs, and in the bottom of the jars of those they have dust, and we feed this dust to the babies, and they really dig that. But anyway guys, I think we'll make this as our last video, and we'll call this test of the mop, breeding, egg laying and spawning and rearing, a success.